Hey guys, and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to talk about the rest of the questions of the Foundation Tier 2023 Paper 2F. Question 18. A bias spinner can land on green or on yellow or on brown or on pink. So we have three options or three possible outcomes. The table gives the probabilities that when the spinner is spun, it will land on green, yellow, or brown. Okay, so these are the probabilities that are given. Timousine spins the spinner 200 times. We got an estimate for the number of times the spinner lands on pink. So basically, first we have to find the probability of pink. Now we're going to find it depending on the rule that says that all the probabilities should add up to 1. So all of these should add up to 1. It means I'm going to add all of these together and then subtract them from 1. So I'm going to say 1 minus these added together. 0.32 plus 0.13 plus 0.28, and then I'll get the probability of pink. So using the calculator, 1 minus bracket 0.32 plus 0.13 plus 0.28, close bracket, and it's going to be 0.27. So the probability of getting pink is 0.27. That's the first thing we do. And then we're going to use the probability of pink multiplied by the number of times, and we will get the times that we will get pink. So 200 multiplied by 0.27. And we will get the answer for the question. So 200 times 0.27. And the answer is 54. It means we will get pink 54 times when we spin the spinner 200 times. And this is how you answer a question like this. So focus on this, that the probabilities must add up to 1. And then use the probability that you got multiplied by the number of total times, and then you'll get the probability of pink. Now, let's move on to the next question. Question 19. This is a trapezium. We have the angles shown, but they are in algebraic expressions. We don't have the numbers, but we know that they are algebraic expressions. Now, BC is parallel to AD. BC parallel to AD. Find the size of the largest angle inside the trapezium. So it means we have to find the size of the largest one in the trapezium. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe this, maybe that. So first thing to do, we have to use the rule of trapezium and then use the rule of parallel lines to find the angles. So basically the rules of parallel lines are what? When you have two parallel lines and you have a line which is cutting the parallel lines, it means this angle will equal to this one. And because these are equal, it means when you add these, you get 180. It's the same rule once you have a trapezium with two parallel bases. It means these two angles will add up to 180. We're going to use them to find the value of x and then substitute x to find the value of the angles. Same idea here. These two add up to 180, but we don't know what's that, so we're going to use the ones that we know. So basically, I'm going to say that this plus this equals 180. So I'm going to do it here. So 3x plus 56 plus 12x minus 27 will equal 180. Now I'm going to follow the rules of algebra. So 3x plus 4x will be 7x. And then 46 minus 27. So 46 minus 27 will equal 19. So plus 19 will equal 180. Now I'm going to take the 19 to the other side by subtraction. So 7x will equal 180 minus 19. So 7x will equal 180 minus 19 will be 161. 161. Now 7x will equal 161. Now I want to find the value of x. I'm going to divide by 7. So let's write it here. 7x equals 161. So divide by 7, both sides, or take the 7 by dividing. Same idea. So here, divide 7, sides, divide 7. So this means what? This means that x will equal 161 divide 7, and the answer is 23. So we found the value of x. Now I can use it, substitute it in each angle, and I can find the sides of the angles. So let's do it here. First, I'm going to use this. So 3x plus 26, I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to remove the x and put brackets and put 23 instead of x, and then plus 36. Do the calculation in the calculator. So 3 brackets, 23 brackets plus 46. I'll get 115. So this one is 115. I'll do the second angle, which is 4 multiplied by x. I put brackets. I put 23 inside, and then minus 27. So same idea, 4 bracket, 23, close bracket, minus 27. I get 65 equals 65, like this. And then the next angle is, this one is 115. This one is 65. Let's write them. The next angle is 3x plus 10. So 3 bracket 23 bracket plus 10 is what? So 3 bracket 23 plus 10 is going to be 79. So 79. And then the next angle, so if this one is 79, it means this angle and this angle will add up to 180. So 180 minus 79 will equal 101. So 180 minus 79, 101. So this one is 101. So the measure of the largest angle inside the trapezium will be what? Very good. Will be 115. And this is how you answer a question like this. So focus on finding all the values and focus on the idea of finding the value of x and then substituting inside the angles and finding the values of the angles. Now, let's move on to the next question. Question 20. Complete the table of values for y equals x squared minus x minus 4. As we said before, when you remove a variable, put brackets and put the numbers inside the brackets. So first, I'm going to put the brackets for the x squared, and then minus bracket for the x, sorry, and then minus 4. And don't forget that we have a square here. So I'm going to do this in the calculator. And then I'm going to take the numbers of the values of the x's, put them in the brackets here. So here I'm going to put -3, -3, and then push equals. I'm going to do the same with all the numbers. So the first one, open a bracket, -3, close bracket, squared, and then minus bracket, -3, close bracket, and then minus 4. As I said, we're going to do this with the calculator. Put these numbers inside, -3, -3, and then push equals. So the first one here, you put -3, -3. Let me put in red. So here, -3, and then here, -3. And you do it with the same idea with all the values, okay? So the first one here, when I did the calculation, I got 8. So the first one is 8. Okay. Next one, I put -1 here and -1 here. So I'll go to the calculator. So I don't have to erase the whole thing, just put -1 instead of the 3. And the answer is -2. So this one, -2. And then I put 0. So when I put 0, 0, 0. The answer is -4. And then next I put 2. 2 here and 2 here. I get -2. And then I put 3. So I put 3 here and 3 here. And the answer is 2. And by that, I finished the whole table. Now, on the grid below, draw the graph of y equals x squared minus x minus 4 for these values from negative 3 to 3. So I'm going to use these coordinates to draw the graph. Of course, it's going to be, because it's quadratic, it's not going to be a straight line. So let's do it here down. Let's zoom out first. So we can do them. So I have negative. I don't have negative. I have negative 4 only. And I have 8. Yes. So I have to split. Okay. First, let's write the numbers so we can use them. Okay. Anyways, I have the table here. You can use the table that you have after finishing because I don't have space to show you all the table, but I'll show you the grid here because we're going to use the 8 and we're going to use the negative 4 and the y. So we need the whole grid. Okay. So to put the points, first I look at the first coordinate. The first one is negative 3 and 8. So negative 3 here, and you go up to the 8 here. So you put the point here. And then we have negative 2 and 2. So negative 2 on the x, 2 on the y over here. And then we have negative 1 and negative 2. So negative 1 and negative 2, like this. And then 0, negative 4. So 0, negative 4 here. And then 1, negative 4, 1, negative 4 here. And then 2, negative 2, 2, negative 2. And the last one is 3 and 2, 3 and 2 over here. Now, this is the curve that I have. Now I'm going to connect the lines or connect the points to the line. So I'm going to start from here. This is going to be a curved line like this. It's not easy to do it on the laptop, but it's easy for you to do it on paper. And this is how you answer a question like this. So the graph is drawn on the grid, and that's the idea of plotting points and plotting graphs on a grid. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 21. Nancy has some coins with a total value of 85 pence. She has only 2 pence coins and 5 pence coins. The ratio number, this is the ratio, number of 2 pence coins to number of 5 pence coins, 1 to 3. So these are the 2 pence, this is the 5 pence. Nancy has more 5 pence coins than 2 pence coins. How many more? So this is the total value, not the total number. And the ratio is 1 to 3. And all of them are 2 to 5 pence. So how do you do this? So first, because we have 85 pence, it means we need to find out how many we have from 2 pence and how many we got from 5 pence. Okay. Now, the idea here, let me show you. So basically, using this ratio, and we know that the 5 pence are more. If these coins are 2 coins, it means that these coins are 6 coins. This means that the ratio here going to use to find the number of pence. Now, if I have 2 pence of 2 coins of 2 pence, it means I have 4 pence. Okay, and 6 coins of 5 pence, it means I have 6 times 5. I will have 30 pence. Now, this means when you add these together, you get 34. Now I need 85. That's the idea. It means I'll go up with the number until I find the 85. So, for example, if I say these are 5, let's go to 5. If these are 5 coins, it means these are, because the ratio is obvious, that I have to multiply this by 3 each time. So if these are 5, these are 15. If I have 2 pence which are 5, this one should be 15. Now I multiply them by each other to get the values. So 2 times 5 is 10 pence. And then 5 times 15 is going to be 75 pence. Now, when you add these together, you'll get 85. So that's the idea of this question. Here, it means I have 5 2 pence, and 15 pieces of 5 pence. Now I have the total number that I need, which is 20 pieces. Now I know that there are 20 pieces. Now I can subtract them from each other because that's the idea of the question. We know that the 5 pence are more, but how much more or how many more? It means this one is 15 and this one is 5. Now we just subtract them from each other. So 15 minus 5 will be 10 pence or 10 pieces more. And this is the idea of this question. Now, to get the 85 pence, this is going to be a guessing question. It means you're going to guess, let's say it's 1 only for the 2 pence, and this makes it 3 for the 5 pence, and then you find the total until you get to the 85. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now, for this question, basically, if you don't want to guess, you can say that if I have one piece of this and three pieces of this, so this makes it what? This makes it two here, I'm sorry, 2 pence, and here 3 pieces, so 5, 5, 5, because this is the ratio. So one of these equals not equals, it means I'll have 3 of these, and these together will be what? They will be 17. So when you add the pences together, these will be 17. Now I have to get 85 pence, not 17. So I'm going to divide the 85 by 17, and the answer will be 5 times. So I need 5 times of these. I need 5 times of these. 5 times makes this 5 and makes this 15. So I multiply this by 5, multiply this by 5, I'll get 5, I'll get 15, and then I subtract them to get 10. This is another method that you can use to find the answer for this question. Now let's move on to the next question. Question 22. Write this number in standard form. Now, to write a number in standard form, it means you have to move the decimal point until you make the number between 1 and 10. Now, if there's no decimal point, it means the decimal point is here. Now you move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you move it 7 times to make the number 7.6. As I said, the idea is making the number between 1 and 10. So it's going to be 7.6 times 10 with a power. The power is the movement that you made, which is a 7. And because you made the number smaller, it means it's a positive power and it's positive 7. Focus on these steps because it's important to understand the difference between positive and negative power. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now let's move on to the next question. Next question, write this as ordinary. You can write this in the calculator. It will give you an ordinary number. Now, if you want to understand the idea, this negative power will move the decimal point to this side. It will make the number smaller. It means, let's write it here, 5.4. Now, let's move the decimal point, and then I'll explain the idea. So here, we already have the decimal point. I'm going to move the decimal point 4 times to this side. So it's going to move that way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, the decimal point will be here. It means there's a 0 before the decimal point and after it, like this, 0 and 0. And in each space you made, you'll have to put a 0. So 0 here, and then each space you made with these movements here, you put 0, okay? So the answer will be like this. So the final answer will be 0.3 zeros and 5, 4. And this is how you answer a question like this. So focus on the movement of the decimal point and focus on turning standard into ordinary. Now let's move on to the next question. This is A and B. 23. We have a shape, a circle, and we have an angle outside of the circle, which is 48. And these lines are the same because they are the radii of the circle. Now let's read the question. A and C are points on a circle. Center O, these are the points. These are the tangents. Now, DA is a tangent to the circle at A, and DC is a tangent of the circle to C at C. The angle is 48. Look at the size of the reflex angle AOC. So they need the reflex angle AOC, which is this one. This is the reflex angle. And the word reflex means the angle is bigger than 180, smaller than 360. So to find this angle, I have to complete all the angles here. So basically, first thing I see that this is a radius, and this is the same radius. And these are tangents, DC and DA. Now, the rule says that when you have a tangent, the angle that the is made by the radius on the tangent is always 90 degree. So this is a 90 degree, and this is a 90 degree. This is very important. The angle is made from a radius on a tangent is always 90. So you write 90. Let's make it smaller here. So the angle is always 90. 90, 90. Now we know two angles or three angles from the quadrilateral shape. Now we can complete the shape to 360 because the sum of angles is 360. So we're going to say 360 minus these angles, 90 plus 90 plus 48. And by subtracting these angles from 360, you'll get the angle O or AOC. Now, let's subtract them. So 360 minus bracket 90 plus 90 plus 48. And the answer is 132. So this one is 132. This is the angle here, side. Now, you need to find the reflex angle, which is on the other side. So the reflex AOC is what? Is a whole circle with 132. So this one is making 132, and this angle, they make a whole circle. It means when you add them together, they're going to be 360. So I'm going to subtract it from 360. 360 minus 132, and I will get the answer. So 360 minus 32, 132. And the answer is 228. So the answer here is 228. And this is how you answer a question like this. So focus on the steps we did. Focus on the rules that we used. A tangent and a radius, they always make a 90 degree. And focus on the sum of angles for the quadrilaterals, which is 360. And the sum of angles around the point are 360. Now, let's move on to the next question. Question 24. Question 24. Charlotte buys a painting for $680. $680. Now, the value of the painting increases by 4%. The value increases by 4%. Work out the value of the painting at the end of 3 years. So we need the value of the painting at the end of 3 years. Give your answer correct to the nearest dollar. So the value of the painting will increase by 4% each year. It means this is a compound interest. It means for each year, it's going to add 4%. Now, you can use the compound interest rule here to find the value after 3 years. Now, we're going to use the rule of the compound interest. So original, you're going to multiply the original by brackets, same rule, and then the power will be the years. So inside the bracket, we will have 100 plus the percentage over 100, like this. Now, it's going to be plus and minus depending on the question. Now, most of the compound interest will be plus, and then it will give you the new value. New value. As we said, the compound interest will be a plus or addition, except if they tell you it will depreciate or decrease. Now, this is the rule. The original is 680. 680. You multiply it by the bracket. Now, The power will be number of years, which is 3. And here you're going to add 100 to the percentage, which is 4. And then divide it by 100. Same idea. And then this will give you the new value. So you can do the whole thing in the calculator and it will give you the right answer. So here, after doing this in the calculator, it gave me 764 0.9, and they need it correct to the nearest 52, yes, to the nearest dollar. It means round it to the nearest whole number. So when you round it to the nearest whole number, this is a 9. It's going to make this a 5. So the answer is $765. And this is how you answer a question like this. So focus on the steps, focus on the rule of compound interest, and focus on how to use the rule of compound interest. Let's move on to the next question. Question 25. Change a speed of 27 kilometers per hour to a speed of in meters per second. So first, let's write the speed. So we have 27 kilometers over 1 hour. This is the meaning of 27 kilometers per hour. And it's going to be a fraction like this. Now we're going to turn it into meters per second. It means we're going to turn this into meters and turn this into seconds, and then doing the dividing part. Now, first, 27 kilometers, it will equal how many meters? Very good. We will multiply it by 1,000. Multiply it by 1,000 to make it meters, because 1 kilometer will equal 1,000 meters. So it's going to be 27,000 meters. Good. And then the hours, we're going to turn it into seconds. It means we're going to multiply by 3,600. Focus on this. Or we can say multiply by 60 and then multiply by 60. Same idea. So we turned it into minutes and then into seconds. Same idea. Now, when we multiply, it's going to be 3,600 seconds. So here, we turned the kilometers into meters, and we turned the hours into seconds. Now we just do the dividing part, and we will get the answer in meters per second. So 2,000 to 27,000 divide 3,600, okay? And the answer is 7.5. Let's write it here, 7.5 meters per second. Okay, so 7.5 meters per second. Focus on the idea of turning the units into each other. When we turn the bigger unit into the smaller one, we have to multiply. If we're doing the opposite, we have to divide. And this is how you answer a question like this. Now, let's move on to the next question. 26. Team A and Team B take part in a quiz league. After 11 rounds, Team A has a mean score per round of 17. After 9 rounds, Team B has a mean score per round of 18. Both teams take part in a further round. After this round, both teams have a mean score per round of 18.5. In the further round, Team A scored more points than Team B. How many more? So basically, first, we have to find out what is the total score of these rounds. We have to find out what's the total score of these rounds. So first, let's do it here. Here, the mean of these 11 rounds is 17. So let's call this team A. So we're going to use A. So if I multiply, I'm sorry, if I divide the total points by 11, because there are 11 rounds. So if I divide the total points of the 11 rounds by 11, I will get 17. Okay. So this calculation will help me find out what's the total score for 11 rounds. Now I take the 11 to the other side by multiplying because it's divided. So this means what? This means that the total for the 11 rounds will be what? Will be 11 times 17. And 11 times 17 will be 11 times 17 will be 187. So the total for A for 11 rounds is 187. Now, after 9 rounds, Team B has a mean score per round of 18. Now I'm going to do the same with team B. So I'm going to say B. So the idea is multiplying 9 by 18. So 18 times 9 is going to be 162. And this is the total points after 9 rounds. Now, they added another round, and both teams have a mean score of 18.5. That means I'm going to use the total scores for each round and add the other points. So, for example, for team A, let's say team A here. I don't know if the time is enough. Team A. So Team A, they scored 187 and they added another round, let's call it A. And then they divided the rounds by 12 because they added another round to 11. And they got a mean of what? A mean of 18.5. So the mean is 18.5. Same idea for Team B. So Team B, here. Same idea. They got 162 in the first 9 rounds, plus the last round, let's call it B. And then we divide it by 10 because the rounds will be 10 after adding one round. And the score or the mean is 18.5. Same idea. I'm going to follow the same steps to find the score of the last round that made it like that. So I'm going to follow the same steps. I'm going to take this, multiply it, and then subtract this there. So here, let's follow the same steps. So 187 plus A will equal this multiplied, which is 18.5 times 12, and it's 222. Now, next I'm going to subtract. So A will equal 222 minus 187. So A will equal, so 222 minus 187, and it's 35. So this is the score of the last round. Okay. In the further round, Team A scored more points than Team B. So that's what we're focusing on, the last round only. Same idea with this one. So 162 plus B, which is the last round, equals 18.5 multiplied by 10, and it's going to be 185. Now I take it to the other side. So B will equal 185 minus 162. So B will equal 185 minus 162, and the answer is 23. Now I subtract the points of these rounds, so 35 minus 23 will give me the answer. So 35 minus 23 will give me 12 points. And this is how you answer a question like this. So the difference in points in the last round will be 12 points. And that's the idea of this question. So focus on finding the mean and using the mean to find the total number of points. We did this with this 11 rounds, same with the 9 rounds. And then we added another round to each one of them to make the mean the same, which is 18.5. So we added a round to 11, became 12, and we added a round here that became 10. We followed the steps to find the points on the last round, and then we subtracted the points to get a difference of 12 points. And that's the idea of this question. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.